Welcome back to the Animation Basics series in Autodesk Maya. We're on lesson 2, the final video, part 5, polish. Now, in the last video, at the very end, the challenge was to get the rotation done. So by now, hopefully, you have something that looks like this. Now, even if you think you've done the rotation perfectly, I still want you to do this. Take a step back from your computer. Take a step back. Let me turn on my little image. And I want you to observe your ball from a distance. I also want you to get a fresh pair of eyes. If you're at home, ask someone who lives with you. If you're at school, ask your shoulder buddy. See what they think. And think about these two questions. Number 1, does the ball look like it's sliding? And number 2, does the ball look like it's rotating in place? So if the ball looks like it's sliding, that probably means you don't have enough rotation. But if the ball looks like it's rotating in place, that means you've probably added too much rotation to your ball. So how do we fix that? Okay, let me turn off my little extra animation just for show. Well, we can fix that in the graph editor. So select your ball, go to rotate Z. Hopefully you got something like this. We only want to mess with 2 points. So first, the contact point with the wall, because from the start to the wall, so kind of going back to the first part of this whole lesson, from point A to point B, you are rotating in only one direction, which should be clockwise, okay? And we can even adjust the time slider down here, make that right inner number 40, so we can just focus on the first part of the animation. So if you think the ball is sliding, that means you probably don't have enough rotation. So you go to point 40 in the graph editor. So click, drag, let go to select. And then you use the tool we used last time, shift, middle mouse click, and drag either up or down. So up or down. Okay. This will either increase or decrease the rotation. Okay? So that is the first part of polishing that rotation, so it doesn't look like it's sliding, and so that it doesn't look like it's rotating in place. Now, once you've done that, you can change the inner numbers at the bottom, the 40 and 72, to just work on the other side. So now you want to select frame 60 and adjust how much it's rotating there. So shift, middle mouse click, you want to bring it up or down. Now I'm not giving you the exact numbers on mine, and that is because your animation might be a hair different than mine, and that is completely okay. So each one of y'all's animations will have to be adjusted a little differently than mine, but for the most part, yeah, try to get those 2 things down. Don't let the ball slide, and try not to let it rotate in place. Once you've done that, now you want to Playblast it again. Let's turn off that resolution gate. Playblast it again. Make sure that it's labeled polish, Playblast. You always want to play your video to make sure it looks good. Looks good to me. And now let me introduce the final part of the polishing phase. This is what will make your animation look from like a regular ball rolling down a ramp to, whoa, they're an observer. They can see like more of the physics involved. So here's my question. When a ball, or when a car, let's use a car for an example. When a car suddenly stops and you're inside the car, what happens? Well, you'd probably move forward, your seatbelt catches you, and then you lean back in your chair. So there's a settle back, right? So I have an example of that. So car stops, leans forward, leans back, and there's like some sort of settle. Let's watch that one more time. So it leans forward, it leans back. There's some sort of settle involved. Okay? Now let's see the science behind it. Now when a ball rolls and then settles back, there's several principles of physics involved. If you want to read all that, you can. I'm just going to go to the bottom and talk about the summary. So in summary, the ball rolls and eventually settles back due to the combination of effects of friction, rolling resistance, gravity, potential energy, and seeking a state of equilibrium. So with that in mind, we need to add a slight settle back at the end. And with everything we've learned so far, I want you to try to figure out how to do this. I have a few examples of what it should look like at the end. So this is the settle back. You can tell at the very end. See if I can decrease the speed. So you can see it hits the wall, and then it's about to stop. It goes a little, it overshoots a little, and then settles back. So overshoot, settle back. That's another principle of animation. This is giving the ball a more realistic motion, just through simple rotation and a slight translation. So when you do this animation here, or this part, make that normal speed. Oops, wrong one. You should get something that looks like this. It rolls down the ramp, overshoots, and settles. This will make the ball look a little more realistic, a little more like professional level. And I will give you a hint on what to do. First off, I put it at frame 70. So I made a new key on translate X and rotate Z. That is all you need to mess with. And then let's also talk about what exactly is happening. I'm gonna go back to this video. I'm gonna slow it down for you guys. So playback speed, half speed. And let's also think about what is happening here. So without that settle back, we have an ease out. So we still have that ease out once the ball hits the wall and then goes over there. We still have that ease out, but when it rotates back, what is happening? Well, now that ease out is turning into an ease in and then goes back to an ease out, right? So that's another hint just to think about. And so yeah, I will stop rambling and I'll show you how to set up the rest of this file once you get that settle back. And yeah, so open up the channel box. Now we can turn back on the backdrop. This is when you're completely done. You can do option 1, or you can go to show and turn off NURBS curbs. Turn off that resolution gate, and then you should have your final animation. You can call this file, save scene as. You can label this final once you're done. Final. Save as my ASCII file. Go to the bottom, and you want to Playblast it as final. And Playblast. And again, your final one should look closer to this. So yeah, try your best. Do a little bit of that polishing. Ask your shoulder buddies for some tips. You know, see if your ball is sliding, see if it's rotating in place. And then from frame 60 to frame 70, add that settle back to your ball. Very simple. Key the rotation Z, key the translation X, and figure out what type of ease in, ease out, how to apply that to the graph editor. So yeah, get at it, and happy animating.